Welcome to this hobby of ours and our second Twin Sinn Spectacular. I promise you that I do not buy Sinn watches in pairs. Just so happens that I did buy a new Sinn, this one right here, and I bought it because of the place in my heart. This one didn't completely fill due to the absence caused by a model like this one. We're going to get into this very confusing conundrum in a hot minute. In order to do so, we're going to be using 3 books today. Well, 2.5 books really. At the end of this video, we're going to go through this book, which is my German military watches book. If you saw the other Sinn video, you've already seen this one. This is my JDM book about Sinn references. This book is fabulous, absolutely fabulous and super affordable. And this book right here isn't actually a book, it's a catalog. It's the Sinn 2021 new models, or models that are out there catalog directly from Germany, straight up from Sinn. So you don't have to spend a lot of money on a watch book library. I mean, some books are definitely worth it and you probably should get, but if you want to maybe start getting a couple watch books around the house, write to the watch manufacturer you're interested, let them know that there's no AD near them and that you'd like to have a catalog sent over. That's how I got this Sinn catalog. I'm not in the market for a brand new Sinn as it happens. I pretty much buy used, but it's a way to start getting a few books around, and they're nice to have. I mean, why not? If the internet was everything, guess what? The watch manufacturers would stop making these catalogs because they, at some level, can't be cheap. In order to understand both of these watches today, we got to roll back all the way to Heuer and Sinn's relationship with Heuer. This model over here is the Sinn 1550SG, sometimes called the Heuer Bund, or just the 1550. And this watch was issued to German military personnel. Now, along the life cycle of this relationship, Helmut Sinn put himself into play with the German military to be a service center for these watches. So when these watches went in for service, sometimes they went to Heuer, sometimes they went to Sinn, and a lot of times when they came out of Sinn, they came with a Sinn dial on them. And in parallel to that, Sinn started making their own, effectively, 1550s. And same make, same model, same specs, effectively, but with Sinn on the dial. Now, the first of these watches that I owned was actually the Sinn 155. And that was a special edition. It wasn't an original Sinn from back in the day. Supposedly what they did is they found 300 of these cases in the warehouse somewhere and decided to drop movements in them, case them up, and sell them. And in truth, I ought not to have sold that watch. This watch wears rather large on me, which is why I sold it. I had an opportunity to make some money on it, and it's too big for me, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to pull a Castro and put both of these on my wrist. It's just too big for me. Wear the watch that fits you, and sometimes a watch you love isn't going to fit you. And I'm not just saying that out loud to you, I'm mostly saying it to myself. So I need to wear the watch that fits me. Now, this model was one that was supposed to replace the Bundeswehr model that the Germans were using. I don't believe it ever did. It first showed up as this model, the 156B, with that Lemagne movement in it. We can tell it's a 51 because we've got the 12-hour scale up here. Then came the 256, which is this model here. It has the Valjoux 50 in it, and I believe that is the origin, that the Lemagne came first or the 50. I don't know which one actually came first in production. I don't know that we're ever going to know, but you will often see these out in the market The Lamagna is always going for more. These, as of this video, these are going for 3.5, 4K. You can get these for as low as 22-ish, 25-ish with some negotiation and maybe an eBay coupon. You can get it down to 2 and change. This model is awesome. And because this has the Lemmy in it, it's going to be thicker on the wrist. This model over here falls in the same tradition as the 155 model in that it has the traditional dimensions, traditional bezel, case, etc. that the previous Hoyers did. So this is a 42 millimeter model. I believe this is 38. It wears so much better. This has the 50 in it. This has the SW 210 in it, and it's the same movement that's actually in my hand heart, that 417 release by Compacts. However, this one has a date, which the hand heart does not, and it's a nice little addition, especially at the 6 o'clock position. All right, an absolute hilarity, going Castro style, 2 watches, 1 wrist. You can see that even with this watch choked up further on my forearm, it still doesn't fit me. Maybe I could wear this on my thigh. But side by side, you can see the wrist presence difference. This wrist, 6.5 inch, is this wrist 6 3/4. Maybe I'll wear this secondary Sinn on the right wrist. Although part of me bought this watch because my buddy Rose City wanted it, and he's got a watch that I want. He's got the Schumacher white reduced, and I'm probably gonna coerce him into trading it for this because I know he deep down wants this. So it may not be in the collection very long, but I negotiated well and I snagged it, and I'm happy I did. There are only 500 of these. So this watch, like it or lump it, is going to indeed go up in value by the sheer nature of there only being a little, very few of them. And I do like the red, the pops of red. If I'm being honest, the handset on the 155 I prefer to this handset. Although the handset here very much matches the handset here. And although we have a, we have the Italian date wheel on this one, I think this is the Sinn Bund style that's going to remain in the collection. It's just, it wears so well. And let's see if we can do a height comparison. Come on, Sinn brothers, get to it. These are pretty much the same height. This is the SW 510. I think I said 210 earlier. This is the 510 movement. Shame on me. Typo, fix it in post. There you have it. Twin Sinn Spectacular. Let's take a look at some of these books down here and see if we can't help you hunt your own Sinn. First up, the Sinn 2021 catalog. Free from Helmet Sinn, directly from Helmet. And what's in here is quite a bit more than just pretty pictures like the catalogs from other places. We got some of that, but Sinn is a manufacturer that's known for a lot of its technical accomplishments. And so you've got a bit of that in there. This is worthy to have. All the more so if you're actually in the market for a new Sinn watch. And they've got so many wonderful pieces. A really great brand. I'm glad I got into collecting them. Next batter up, the Sinn Mission Timer from Japan. I'm going to go through this one really quickly, especially if you saw the previous Sinn. We don't want to double up our content, but if this is your first time seeing a video about Sinn, look at this catalog, look at it, get it off eBay. It was super cheap, maybe $60 or something like that. And it has so many of the references, so many. That's where we were at, the 156 and the 256 models. And there are, aviation ones and motorsport ones. That 256 ST, totally rad. And there's even a Corvette one that's out there. You can get some of these models for like $1,300 easily. They pop. And lastly, we have the German Military Timepieces book, quite a tome. And this has, you know, by this fellow Conrad Knierim, a bunch of watches in here from the history. There's our author. Oh, beloved Handhart. Let's go back here. There's the doctor's model, Handhart. See, the doctors or officers. I think it's the doctor's one. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at those beautiful Handhart references. Coming for you. IWC. A bunch of clocks from Etsy. Look at that. Oh, there's a familiar face. Can you say Dirty Dozen? Yes, you can. Pocket watches. This is the same book that I'd shown in the Dirty Dozen video. Worth sharing again briefly here in context. A worthy book. If you're into Zen, get on eBay, start hunting. You can still get these, particularly used pieces, at fabulous prices. All right, take care.